Hi, good afternoon. It's time for Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today we'll join Volusia Here and Now reporter Joanne Magley for some interesting and important information about where your water comes from. Then it's over to health reporter Stefany Strong for a report from the Volusia County Health Department about the Women, Infants, and Children Dental Clinic. And finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio for a chat with County Environmental Director Ginger Adair and Projects Coordinator Glenn Scorza about the ways Volusia County Government is making a commitment to being green. Those segments, news, and more coming up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Every day is play day at Volusia County's dog parks, where dogs and their owners can frolic, play fetch, and make new friends. The county recently opened its third dog park at Michael Crotty Bicentennial Park in Ormond by the Sea. County staff basically turned a 4-acre sandlot into a pastoral place for pet owners to play with their pooches. Tim Bailey, the county's Director of Parks, Recreation, and Culture, said dog parks are becoming more and more popular.
You know, it seems like folks are really attached to their animal, and they really want to get them out in areas to socialize with other dogs. Also, let their dog just run loose, and you can't necessarily do that anywhere in the county. So this offers the owner an opportunity to actually unleash their dog, play with other dogs their size, let them run around, and it's a good visit for the dog owners to visit among friends too. So it's becoming real popular, socializing both themselves and with the dogs. I really encourage everyone to get out there and bring your dog and enjoy Volusia County dog parks.
Volusia County also maintains popular dog parks at Gemini Springs Park in DeBary, Barclay Square in DeLand, and all 3 parks feature separate sections for big and small dogs. They also feature watering stations, shade trees, and benches. The dogs have a blast chasing frisbees, running up and down hills, and sometimes just resting under a tree. For more information about Volusia County's parks, you can visit volusia.org/parks. With spring on the way, you might be looking for a unique day trip. Consider visiting Lyonia Preserve in Deltona, where you can browse through Volusia's biggest library, learn about nature, and take a hike, all in the same place. Lyonia Environmental Center is part of the Deltona Regional Library Complex and is the gateway to Lyonia Preserve, a 360-acre scrub habitat. You can start your day in the Environmental Center and interact with hands-on displays to learn about Central Florida's fragile ecosystems. You can learn about how sinkholes are formed, how gopher tortoises stay cool, and hear the sounds of a manatee. Other displays highlight the importance of the environment and explain how we can conserve energy and natural resources.
Well, we have a wonderful variety of public programs that we offer. We're here to serve the community, and so we're here to educate the community. And we really invite everybody to come out. On any given weekend, you can come and you can learn how to build a bat box that you can take home and put in your backyard. You can build a bird nest box. You can learn about how to eat local and how to eat organic foods. We have guest speakers that come in on topics that range from the reptiles of Florida to the Florida black bear to water quality issues. We have a wonderful Tiny Trekkers program that's offered the first Friday of every month, geared towards our little ones, ages 2 to 5 years old. And it's really a family program. They read a story, they do a craft, and they go on a hike in the preserve. And it's geared for families. Everything here is for the public and really for families to come and spend some time and have a wonderful time here.
The preserve's most precious resident is the Florida scrub jay, which is a protected species. These outgoing birds are naturally curious and may want to get a closer look at you as you hike through the scrub habitat.
Florida scrub jay is a very curious and inquisitive bird. They're very naturally curious, so they'll come close to you because they're naturally guarding their family territories. So you can get a picture of them and see them up close when they get close to you. We do not allow feeding. Feeding affects their breeding time, and it also affects their health. So we have signage up not to feed, and we really ask people, do not feed the scrub jays.
The Deltona Regional Library is one of Volusia County's busiest and most comprehensive libraries. It features a large collection area, auditorium, meeting rooms, and special sections for teens and for children. The library also has a special collection of materials on environmental studies. The 1,000-seat Deltona Amphitheater, a joint project of Volusia County and the City of Deltona, was built next to the library for concerts, community gatherings, and outdoor educational programs. The complex also includes a nature-based gift shop, a cafe that serves fresh bagels, sandwiches, and pastries. For more information, you can visit lioniapreserve.com or go to volusialibrary.org. The Ocean Center is hosting the 2012 Avatar Wizard Course, a 13-day self-development program that runs through February 4th. The training is delivered by a worldwide network of licensed Avatar masters. An estimated 3,000 people are registered for this event, as well as 60 course instructors and staff, all who are staying in Daytona Beach area hotels for 13 nights.
This is our busiest time of the year. We have very few days in the next 3 months that we don't have something going on somewhere in the facility. Currently, we have the Stars Edge International Wizard Course with about 3,000 people, and they're here for almost 2 weeks period of time, so that's going to be a significant show for us. We just finished up a couple of weeks ago with a state cheer and dance group, and that's children of all ages doing different competitions for cheerleading and dance type events, obviously. And we had about 7,000 in attendance for that and several hundred contestants at that show. Last week we had the Florida Firefighters East in, that's several thousand folks at that show. We had yesterday, we just closed out the International Advanced Ceramic Show. It was about 1,000 people here for a couple of days. So it's our very busy season, and we're glad to see it all coming. And then we have a lot of shows coming up that are trade type shows and consumer shows, home shows, that type of thing.
In late January, the Ocean Center hosted another large convention, the Fire Rescue East Conference, sponsored by the Florida Fire and Emergency Services Foundation and managed by the Florida Fire Chiefs Association. The event included continuing education classes for professional and volunteer firefighters, competitions, and a trade show, the largest fire emergency trade show in the Southeast. For more information about the schedule and events at the Ocean Center, you can log on to oceancenter.com.
I'm Andy Kelly with the Volusia County Council. The St. Johns River is one of the gems of West Volusia County. This beautiful waterway is a haven for manatees and a mecca for fishermen and boaters. You can support the river by buying a St. Johns River specialty license plate. For each plate that is purchased, $25 is sent to the St. Johns River Alliance, a not-for-profit group that helps conservation, education, research, and cleanup efforts of the waterway. You can purchase a St. Johns River license plate at your local tag and title office. Thank you.
Most of us get our potable water for drinking and for bathing, from the Florida Aquifer System. But do you know how it gets from the ground to your tap? Joanne Magley has more in this week's Volusia Here and Now report.
We treat a whole bunch of water. We treat about 6.1 million gallons a day and about 2.2 billion gallons in a year.
Steve Miller is the chief operator at the Garnsey Water Plant in Port Orange. Recently, residents in Port Orange had the opportunity to tour and get an inside look at the plant's operations and the improvements. And I also got a behind-the-scenes tour to see just how the potable water production takes groundwater and transforms it into drinkable water that you and I use to drink and prepare meals. The Garnsey Water Plant recently underwent some improvements.
What we've done is we've enhanced the disinfection process, and we've converted the plant to what is called a 4-log virus removal plant. And that is done for public health and safety and protect the public against viruses and bacteriological contamination coming in through the plant.
The water is pumped to the plant from the city's well fields from about 300 feet below the surface from the Florida aquifer. The Florida aquifer system is one of the most productive aquifers in the world, but before the water comes out of our faucets, it goes through a treatment process to make it more pleasing to the palate.
When that water comes in here, it's pretty hard. It has about 300 parts per million of hardness. So we have to soften the water. It undergoes a process to where we take about 270 parts of the hardness out, and then when it exits the plant, it's softened, and it's not only aesthetically pleasing, but it's safe, and it meets all the state and federal regulations that it's tested for.
After the water is softened, disinfected, and then stabilized, it goes through this filter gallery, and after this stage, it's ready for drinking. The plant operations are continuously monitored by a sophisticated computer system which checks, among other things, the amount of water leaving the plant and what kind of pressure that treated water is under. There's also a process control lab where the water is tested every 2 hours.
Based upon the results of those tests, he'll know whether we're right on track with the treatment.
And if the controller sees a deviation from the parameters, he can make the necessary adjustments. The Garnsey water plant has been in operation for 31 years. It underwent an expansion in 1998, and now, with this latest enhancement project, it's even better equipped to serve the residents of Port Orange with quality drinking water. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
Staying healthy is important, and did you know that it's important to keep your smile healthy to stay healthy all around? The Women, Infants, and Children Nutrition Program is promoting dental care to the Volusia County community. Stefany Strong has details in this segment of Community Health Matters.
Teeth are very important for eating and talking and the way you look. Baby teeth help children speak clearly and chew food, and they serve as space keepers for the permanent teeth. Oral health is important.
Good oral health is very important, especially for children, for their well-being. Interestingly, tooth decay is an infection. It's the most common infection in this country. And tooth decay results in pain, which can result in difficulty speaking, difficulty eating, difficulty focusing and learning at school. So oral health is extremely important for children's well-being.
Tooth decay affects children in the United States more than any other chronic infectious disease. Untreated tooth decay causes pain and infections that may lead to problems such as eating, speaking, playing, and learning. Tooth decay is caused by bacteria or germs found in plaque. Plaque is a film or coating which contains bacteria that forms on your teeth and gums.
Then we talk about baby teeth as well, which is what you're losing now.
You can prevent tooth decay and gum disease by brushing your teeth twice a day, flossing once a day, limiting the amount of sugar you eat and drink, and getting your teeth cleaned at least once a year. Here are some nutrition tips for a healthy smile.
Some of the nutrition tips for a healthy smile are to breastfeed your baby. Don't put juice, soda, or any sweetened drinks in baby's bottle. Drink water or low-fat milk instead of soda or other sugar-type beverages, and avoid foods high in sugar and food that stick to your teeth.
Baby bottle tooth decay can happen to a child's teeth over time if not properly cared for. For more information, you may visit www.volusiahealth.com. For Volusia Magazine and on behalf of the Volusia County Health Department, your guide to better health, I'm Public Information Officer Stefany Strong.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can always log on to volusiahealth.com. And now let's join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, in the studio for an in-depth discussion with studio guests, County Environmental Director, Ginger Adair, and Projects Coordinator, Glenn Scorza. We'll get some insight into Volusia County Government's green initiatives.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hello, everyone. Volusia County Government has made a major commitment to going green. Good environmental practices not only are good for our plants and animals, but in many cases they conserve natural resources and save money. The county has a long list of green initiatives underway, and we'll talk about them today with our studio guest, County Environmental Management Director Ginger Adair, and Glenn Scorza, a projects coordinator with the county's Fleet Management Division. Nice to have both of you with us. Ginger, thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
And Glenn, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Dave.
Hey, as we get started this morning, Ginger, let's start with you. The county has this new Office of Sustainability and a big green program. Tell us about this Office of Sustainability.
Sure. Well, our Office of Sustainability is actually made up of existing county staff who, in addition to their normal job functions, get together and work on our sustainability initiatives throughout the county. And it's a really great way to do business. We have buy-in from all the departments and divisions, and Glenn is on our Office of Sustainability, and we've had some real successes over the past year or two.
When you say sustainability, Ginger, what exactly does that mean?
Well, in our case, sustainability means using the resources that the county has more efficiently. And so we're trying to save energy, save electricity, save water, and also just use our natural resources appropriately.
So the bottom line is as we said at the beginning, is all of this is good for the environment, good for the plants and animals, and good for our taxpayers as well.
Absolutely. We've found significant cost savings to the county budget by using our resources in a way that makes them last longer, and our bills are reduced because of that.
You know, probably one of the great examples, and there are many, we'll talk about some, but probably one of the great examples of this whole sustainability and combining resources and that sort of thing, good for the environment, is the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, and that combines a number of elements. Tell us about what we call NSP.
Well, the Neighborhood Stabilization Program is something that our Community Assistance Division does, where they buy homes in neighborhoods with high level of foreclosure and fix them up and sell to low-income first-time homebuyers. So that program operates outside of the sustainability realm. However, we found a way to tie in with them, so we've now partnered with Community Assistance to provide funds to make those homes more energy and water efficient. So what we've been able to do is retrofit 25 homes so that they have water-saving appliances. We've, in some cases, changed out the air conditioning system, replaced windows, and that'll make those homes very much more affordable for the eventual home buyer.
Glenn, let's turn to you. Of course, the county's facilities operation, you know, is very much involved in this. Let's talk about the facilities side first, because as Ginger stated, energy conservation and all of that is a big part of the sustainability. What sort of things have been done with the county's facilities?
Great example of our sustainability goals from Johnson Controls would be the TCK building.
Right.
They have lighting projects where they have sensors in the room that if you leave the room, the lights will go off.
Right.
We have some of those installed now. But have you ever been in a meeting where everyone's sitting still, you're still having the meeting and the lights go off? Well, these sensors, these new sensors are audiophonic. So they'll pick up your voice, so they won't shut off in the middle of the meeting because it's kind of embarrassing.
Excellent.
The other things that they do is through water conservation, they're going to replace the outdated toilets, urinals, faucets, and they're going to save, I believe, countywide 3.7 million gallons of water countywide. It's a tremendous sustainable savings.
And I would imagine, you know, when you say, you know, that kind of water savings, I've never asked what the county pays overall for the power bills, but I know it's a lot more than all three of us can afford. So, I mean, there's some real potential here to save big dollars, I would think, for the public.
Sure, absolutely. A couple other sustainability goals that we're looking at the TCK building in particular are they're going to replace the chillers in the water towers, and I'm sorry, in the cooling towers.
Right.
But they're going to replace inefficient equipment with efficient equipment.
Right.
And then they're going to install building controls, which will allow an energy manager to really manage the energy of the building, stepping it up in the morning, bringing it down in the evening, that type of thing that really saves energy.
You know, Ginger, you and I have talked about before is one of the things that the county's been trying to do with this program, and I guess you're just starting basically, is to kind of measure the county's carbon footprint. I guess you're taking a snapshot of where it is today and then maybe down the road to see whether you've reduced that. First of all, what is a carbon footprint?
Well, we're measuring actually our greenhouse gas emissions,
Right.
and a carbon footprint is basically a measure of the environmental pollution created by burning fossil fuels. And so there are a number of different greenhouse gases, and we sort of calculate that based on all of the things that the county does. So that includes energy use, water use, because it takes electricity to deliver water,
sure.
Fuel, and all those things combined. We looked at the year 2007 as our baseline, which is pretty much a standard for local government greenhouse gas emissions surveys.
Right.
And what we found was in 2007, the County of Volusia operations emit about 113,000 tons of greenhouse gases.
Wow.
Which is sort of a hard number to get your head around. It doesn't really mean much to most people, but
Right.
it's about the equivalent of running, say, 26,000 homes for a year.
Wow.
So that's our contribution to the greenhouse gas and potentially climate change issue. And so what we're looking at is, now that we know where we were in 2007, we've been doing these initiatives through facilities and through fleet, and we're going to see if that's being reduced over time. And in fact, our preliminary estimate for 2010 is that we have reduced our greenhouse gas emissions, and we'll continue to do that through our Office of Sustainability and through our upcoming Sustainability Action Plan.
So you sort of took your temperature in 2007 and then take it again at some point in the future to see whether you have made a noticeable impact in the county's, I guess, environmental savings, I guess.
Exactly, and the great thing is that if you're reducing greenhouse gases, you're also reducing costs. I mean, the equation works just exactly that way. So the less greenhouse gas we emit through fuel use and electricity use, the less cost to the county taxpayers.
Sure.
And so there really is a double benefit to those reductions that we're looking for.
Glenn, back to you. Of course, the other side of this, and one of the big things in the county budget, is all those vehicles, whether they be heavy equipment or sedans, patrol vehicles, what have you. And I know that over time the county has made a concerted effort to reduce the cost of the fleet, reduce the fuel,
Sure.
and that sort of thing. Give us an update on how that's been going.
That's going great. One of the things that we have is the Right Sizing Committee. The Right Sizing Committee, their whole mission statement is to get the cost of the fleet where it's supposed to be. And the way you do that is reducing underutilized vehicles in the fleet. We have in each of the county departments, we have a committee member, their manager that can make changes. And for instance, we have a road and bridge member, committee member, and that member will do the analysis for the entire Public Works Department. And so the chair of the committee sends out a report quarterly. It gives the departments a chance to look over their usage and see are these vehicles underutilized or not. And it may give them an opportunity to reduce that vehicle or to cascade it into the pool where they could more efficiently use it. We've also opened up an automated pool here in DeLand at the behest of our customers who asked for that. It's an automated system. They could go to the fleet management website, sign up for it, and they could pull out a vehicle anytime they need. So that's really freed up the departments to kind of say, you know, we don't need to hold on to this vehicle. It's impacted their budgets tremendously because you don't have to budget for a new vehicle, you don't have to budget for maintenance costs or fuel costs.
What about turning to alternative type vehicles, you know, flex fuel vehicles or vehicles that are using like all ethanol,
Sure.
or even, I know the city of DeLand just recently purchased an electric vehicle. So what's the county's philosophy on that?
Well, alternative fuels are great. In a lot of instances they're cleaner, they're cheaper, and they're more secure. So what we're doing already, we're already using biodiesel, about 10% all throughout the county, and we're using ethanol because of the state mandate to use 10% ethanol. One of the other things we're looking at in our sustainability plan is the alternative fuel plan. And the key there is to determine whether or not the application for the alternative fuel makes sense in our fleet or not. You determine that by seeing if you get a decent return on investment or not.
Sure.
So the three that we're really concentrating on are compressed natural gas, propane, and electric vehicles. And like I said, it's all based on applications. So compressed natural gas will be more of a solid waste application. Propane may be more of a leisure services application. And if you really break it down like that, you can see how alternative fuels can be a big part of Volusia County's future.
Ginger, this is an ongoing effort, you know, started with a federal grant, and you know, we hope to keep it going over time. As you look into the future, where do you think we're headed for this? What are some of the goals?
Well, I think a big part of where we're headed is looking at alternative fuels through Glenn's work and the work of our fleet division. We expect to purchase electric vehicles in the next budget year.
Right.
We're looking very hard at compressed natural gas for some of our vehicles. So I think there's going to be a big push in that area because it makes sense. It's very cost effective. It's a more stable energy source. You know, it's a domestic fuel source in many cases. So that's a big push. The other things that we're really going to be working on are completion of our sustainability action plan. That's something that we've been doing for almost a year, and we expect to be complete soon. And that'll really be a roadmap for how the county moves forward in economic development, in planning, in building, in our own facilities, and also out into the community. So how we can help folks in the community have choices and understand the choices that they make, and perhaps be able to save money and be more sustainable in their businesses and in their homes.
I know one of the jobs of government in general, and certainly county government's philosophy, is to kind of set a standard, show some leadership, and part of this, of course, is to do the right thing and hope that other cities and counties and the citizens themselves, businesses and whatever, will kind of grab hold and kind of take the same philosophy. I know it's sort of interesting, Ginger, even with your committee that you have going, you're even calling it a virtual committee, where you don't gather in one place. You meet over the phone or by computer. That saves fuel, saves paper, and it sets an example.
We really are trying to set an example, and I think it's important to note that all of the things that we're doing have to be cost effective in order to move forward. So I know some folks out there think that sustainability is a lofty goal, and it's for times when you have abundant resources, and in fact sustainability is something that you do when you have fewer resources, because it really saves money. And so I want folks to understand that we are doing things that are cost effective first, and they happen to be sustainable as well.
So if people want more information, perhaps have we piqued their interest, how can people get more information?
The best place to go is our website, which is www.greenvolusia.org.
Well, I want to thank you both very much for being with us. Ginger Adair, the county's environmental management director. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks,
Ginger.
Dave. I'm happy to be here.
And Glenn Scorza, projects coordinator with the county's fleet division. Glenn, thank you very much for being with us. Very important part of county government. So again, thank you both very much.
Thanks.
And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to volusia.org and click on the Volusia Magazine icon. The next County Council meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 2nd at 9 a.m. in the Council Chambers in DeLand, and public participation is welcome. And if you're interested in finding out more about the schedule of upcoming events, you can log on to volusia.org and select County Council from the drop-down menu. And we hope you don't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.